So today, this is like some people are too young for this, but there was a kind of a running joke at one time about um, the misery of being invited over to someone's house to look at slides of their vacation. Like, oh my gosh, we got to go over next door to the Joneses and listen to them talk about their vacation. That's what you are all going to be subjected to today. So last month was my birthday. Thank you. And it was a kind of a big one. I turned 65, and I like that felt significant. And so, to celebrate my birthday, my sister came down from Alaska to celebrate my birthday with me. And Alaska's very cold, so I really wanted us to be able to go somewhere warm. But she was only going to be here for a week, and neither one of us feel especially inclined to want to cross any international borders for the time being. So I decided, well, we'll go to Las Vegas, which is kind of weird for me because I'm not really that. I mean, I'm not really the kind of person that goes to Vegas. That not for any particular reason other than it just doesn't really resonate that much. But I knew it would be warm, and I knew that my sister and I could have a fabulous world-class spa day. Because that's what sisters do, right? I mean, that's what me and my sister like to do. Go hang out at the spa and get a massage and, just really um, celebrate our beingness together. And so neither one of us are gamblers, and we're not really big partiers or any of that stuff. But I booked us a room at the Aria because they have a 5-star Forbes rated spa there. So, like, okay, we're gonna have if we don't do anything else, we're gonna have an amazing spa day. But the other thing I was really interested in Las Vegas was, and I promise there's a spiritual story in here somewhere. the, the other thing I really wanted to experience was the Sphere. Has anybody here been to the Sphere? No, not the Sphere. Okay. I have also been to the Stratosphere. That is a story for a different day. So the Sphere is this giant sphere building that is just I've seen lots of pictures and videos of different shows that they've done there. And like, I really want to check that out. That seems like something that is a not, don't miss that if you're going to go to Las Vegas. So, and they were showing the Wizard of Oz there. Yeah. So, so we get to Las Vegas and we check into the hotel and we go up to our room, and the room has like a tablet thing in the room, which you would use to order room service or book your spa day or any other services that you want. So I get on the tablet and I go in to book our spa appointments. And I couldn't get a confirmation at the end when I wanted to confirm it. It was just spinning and spinning. So I tried to call the spa, but they were closed, so I left a voicemail. And the next morning, um, we went down to breakfast, and it had not occurred to me during all this time that it was Super Bowl weekend, and Las Vegas was packed. It was wall-to-wall people. It just didn't even occur to me that that was going to be a thing. So I suggested to my sister we should walk over to the spa and see if they could confirm. And I walked up to the counter, and the wonderful young lady that was working there, I started telling her my story with the tablet. And she said, "Oh, did you leave a voicemail?" And I said, "Yes, yes." She said, "Oh my goodness, I was just going to call you. It's filling up really fast, but I saved 2 spots for you in case you still wanted them." And at that moment, I had this. So I don't. I don't want the little men in the white coats coming in to take me away. I'm going to tell, I do not have auditory hallucinations, but I often get direct communication in my head. And here's what came through. Mary. So what came through was, how else may I delight you today? How else may I delight you today? And I have chills right now because that just set the groundwork for the entire weekend that we were there. Needless to say, we went and had a fabulous spa day, enjoying the infinity pool and the whirlpools, and the massage was just, well, I can't even say enough about that. Um, and it was extraordinary. How else may I delight you today? So, the lesson that is happening for me and that I'm sharing with you is that the whole experience seemed like, initially for me, it seemed like one perceived obstacle after another. Like, I want to go somewhere warm, but I can't go to, I mean, my sister and I usually, we meet up in Puerto Vallarta in January, but that's just kind of off the table right now, and that seemed like an obstacle. And then Las Vegas itself seemed like a little bit of an obstacle too, because that's not really usually my jam kind of thing. It's like I would have gone to Sedona or something, but none of that was coming together. And so my willingness to be open for the highest and best set me up. And that was just the beginning. So we had our fabulous spa day. We went to a wonderful dinner. Um, and the next day was actually my birthday. That was my actual birthday. And that was the day we were going to go to the Sphere. And so I don't want to give any like real spoilers about that, but if you ever find yourself in Las Vegas and you have the opportunity to see a show, they do live shows too. They have concerts and things. I highly recommend it. However, if you have any fear of heights at all, just be aware that when you go up, when you climb up to the wherever your seat is, and then you're going to go walk along the road to get to your seat, turn your back or turn to face the seats. Don't look the other way, because it's like a cliff going. You are up so high, and because the seats are terraced, there's nothing there but air. And it's a wonder. It's wonderful and it's amazing. I think my sister was a little nervous, so I recommend just turn your back to that. Look at the seats, and find your seat and sit down. You'll be fine. So I have not seen The Wizard of Oz since I was probably a teenager. The movie was actually premiered in 1939, and it was in black and white. So, and then sometime, I think they said it was, I don't know, some year, probably in the 50s, they remastered it and colored it. And that's when I saw it. I didn't see it before that. But I didn't have the understanding of the story that I have now. So when I was watching the movie, it was like watching it from a completely different perspective. So, the lyrics to the song, I don't, Mary, is this going to be one of the songs we play? No, it's not. Oh, good. Okay, all right. But the some of the lyrics, you will be very familiar. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and dreams that you dreamed of really do come true. So the movie starts out. If you anybody remember the movie? Anybody seen it somewhat? You know it by heart. You've seen it 50 times recently. But okay, okay, all right. Do you have a metaphysical understanding of the story at all? Oh, oh, good. Um, so, in the midst of difficulty or troubles, because part of the one of the lyrics is, and troubles melt like lemon drops. It's like that's somewhere over the rainbow. That's, there's that ideal kind of life that we would all love to live. So, in the midst of trouble, the story of The Wizard of Oz invites us to imagine that there's somewhere where life is perfect and skies are blue and troubles melt like lemon drops. But the genius of the story, the metaphysical experience of it that I um, didn't even know was there because I wasn't ready yet, that Dorothy undertakes this adventure as the result of troubles. And the trouble was, for those that may not remember, is that her little dog Toto got into a kerfuffle with her um, less than pleasant neighbor. And the neighbor was demanding that the dog be removed. Um, and it's very traumatic because I couldn't even imagine someone wanting to take my dog away from me, um, and for just doing what dogs do. And so the genius of the story is that in the midst of all of these troubles, the somewhere that she was longing for was within her all along. It was always there. And the characters that became her companions are a perfect metaphor for the people in our lives. Um, so, uh, in the experience at the Sphere, in the movie opens up with the tornado, and the chairs actually move and shake and shimmy. I mean, you get the whole physical sensation of being in the middle of the tornado. And the interior of the entire building is all screened. So this dark black tornado is swirling around all around you. And then little ports in the ceiling open up and leaves start, so that not only are your chair shaking and you have the visual, but there's also physical material blowing around in the so that was the first experience of that. And then later on, um, this was the next kind of amazing thing. Um, when Dorothy meets up with the Tin Man, who's in an apple orchard, and he's got an axe and he's chopping down apple trees, but he rusted and he got frozen, so he needed her to squirt the oil can, and the apple trees are not going to take this assault lying down, so they're defending themselves and they're throwing apples at the Tin Man and at Dorothy. Well, the ceiling opens up again and all these apples start falling out of the ceiling, and this is the apple, a little foam. This apple fell right down out of the ceiling and landed in my lap. How else may I delight you today? Because all around me, so there's thousands of people in there, And there's probably maybe a couple hundred of these that fell out of the ceiling. So people are like, sort of not fighting over. I mean, but people are grasping, and they're everybody wants to get an apple. And this one came right down and landed in my lap, and it was my birthday. How else may I delight you today? Yeah, it was really an amazing experience. And then, so I had this. I never got this before about that movie. It's like everyone knows the story. It's almost a cultural thing, but I never saw it from this perspective before. That everyone in our lives, no matter for how long or for how short, related or not, is a teacher. We are learning all the time from everyone we meet. That being said, everyone I meet is also learning from me. And what am I demonstrating into the world? So everyone, they cause us to grow spiritually. We are also teachers, whether we're aware of it or not. And some teachers are with us for a lifetime, like our siblings, for instance, my sister with me. We have grown together for a lifetime, the two of us. And some of them are for just a moment, but everyone comes with a lesson. And I'm going to give you the cheat code right now, because there's everything that we're in life school learning, there is one answer to, and the answer is love. Love is why we are here. And it doesn't matter how complicated the lesson looks, how drawn out or dramatic or any of those things. The answer is always love. Yeah. So there. You all get to graduate. But not like that. Not today. Not today. So when Dorothy saw through the illusion, so the illusion that was projected by the man behind the curtain, the man behind the curtain, of course, was the Wizard of Oz, and he had, all of the machinery that was projecting an image and a story of this all great powerful wizard who could grant wishes. But he was just projecting that. And when Dorothy saw through the illusion, that's when the gifts of their lessons were received. So it was after she unveiled the wizard for being something other than what was being projected as this big and all-powerful being. That's when the Tin Man got his heart. And that's when the Cowardly Lion got his medal for courage. And that's when the Scarecrow got his wisdom, his brain. And Dorothy got the gift that she wanted. And what she wanted was home. And I always think of that as home is not a physical place, it's that sense of belonging. And that's the gift that Dorothy received. And it was in her all along. So, of course, I don't know why. I'm sure that I knew on some level that, yeah, she was dreaming the whole time. Okay, and she woke up out of the dream, and she recognized that all of the people that were around her were actually the characters who had been in her dream. Only they were just the mundane, everyday type of characters now. But there was something much deeper going on in there. And I know I wrote it in my notes somewhere. There was something really profound that I couldn't wait to share. Oh well, anyway. So, oh well, I'm sure it's in there somewhere. The point is that in the beginning of the movie, in the tornado, the house is torn up and it's lifted and it's being blown around in this tornado. And when it landed on the Wicked Witch of the East, and her feet were sticking out, and she was croaked. And how much now you can shift this thinking to your own life, because we're going to have a conversation about this after I get finished setting us all up. How much guilt do we carry in our life for the houses that we dropped on wicked witches? Because when she had her whole experience in the land of Oz, and going down the yellow brick road, and going to the Emerald City, and encountering the Wicked Witch of the West who sicked the flying monkeys on her, that was all retaliation for the perceived sin that Dorothy was responsible for the house falling on her sister. And through the course of the movie, now I have to go watch it again now, because I when I watched it then last month, I had it like I saw it from such completely different eyes. And there's layers and layers and layers of things in there. It's like, what genius in 1930s? What genius wrote or had this understanding? And I don't know. Do you watch cartoons, Benson? Do you watch cartoons? Okay. Do you watch cartoons with him sometimes? Do you ever notice how cartoons are there's two different levels to them? There's some of the humor that will just go right over the head of a young person, but you get it, and you're like, what? Really? But I think that this movie that's the screenplay was written by his name was, just in case anybody's, Harold Arlen. No, not necessarily. That was the song. I actually don't know who wrote it. Now I have to go look that up. But yeah. No, no. The Wicked Witch of the East was the sister of the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay. All right. So in all of that, the thing that, and thanks for bringing that up, because that's what I had also noticed is that she had some, very nice wisdom to share with Dorothy, and reminding her, is that me crackling? Um, she had some things to share with Dorothy about closing her eyes. And oh, okay, all right. This kind of sounds like a fire crackling. This long. um, that if she were to close her eyes and tap her heels 3 times, that she would be home. And and that happened to be true. But my younger self, when I first saw the movie, I think I was so fixated on Glinda the Good Witch, thinking that she was the fairy godmother that would make everything all better. And now watching the movie from this perspective, she was at most kind of a cameo appearance. Her presence, the lessons that were learned by Dorothy were learned at the deepest level from the perceived obstacles that she encountered, and the friends that she encountered along the way who were wanting to have wanting to have a different experience, wanting to be smart and have a brain. I'm just stuffed with straw. And wanting to have a heart. I'm hollow in here. and wanting to have courage because I'm this big strong lion and everybody expects me to be, brave, and I'm just terrified of everything. So the deepest lessons that Dorothy learned were learned through her companions and through her own obstacles. And the deepest lesson that I learned is that it's always available within me. How else may I delight you today? And it just kept going on and on in small ways like this, and in even ways that I had to really pay attention to see. They weren't quite as in your face as apples falling out of the sky and landing in your lap. So I wrote some questions to maybe see if we could get some conversation going. And Penny has the microphone, so she'll hand it around. And I'll just put a couple of these questions out there, and we'll see where this goes, because that's how I like to do these things. What experiences have any of you ever had that revealed the man behind the curtain? And by that I mean, have you had any experience where you had a perception of a big, all-powerful, mighty being that could grant your wishes or not, and then you came to understand that that was just a projection? You're nodding your head, so.
Thanks, Penny. Yes, I looked at God, as I understood God, as being like, grant me my wishes.
Yes.
And then that evolved later on through a lot of series of events that were very painful and tragic, to where I knew that the spirit of the universe was all about love and light.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything to do with grant me my wishes whatsoever.
Or if I'm good enough, if I say enough Hail Marys
if
and
I
Our Fathers.
if I perform enough, if I'm perfect enough, if I'm good enough, if I accomplish enough, my worth will be valued. Mm-hmm. I will be valued. I will be worthy. Yeah. All those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
I used to drive myself into the ground.
Trying to be worthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. You are worthy, by the way.
Right.
You,
just
you
as
are.
I am, sitting
just as
here.
You are, sitting
yeah.
here, breathing.
My kids thought I was Superwoman, and I acted like that too. Yeah.
They probably still kind of think.
No, they know better. They know better now. They really do. Not at all.
Mary, would you, if there's anyone on Zoom that would like to weigh in, will you? So if you're on Zoom and you have something to share with us, please raise your hand or something so Mary knows to acknowledge you. Thank you. Nope. Okay. Anybody else have any of those Oz moments? Or something that was projected as... It's pretty hard to top the God one, though.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I totally relate to that, too. Yeah.
But what about...
I was just thinking about when you're little, like you think your parents can fix everything, like your dad can fix things and stuff, and there's a moment in life when you realize nobody can really fix things. Yeah.
Some things.
Fix everything.
Yeah.
Human too.
Yeah, they're human too. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Really good point. I could think of, once I start going down that pathway, I can think of all kinds of ways that we, not just individuals, but as society, we look at something out there that is going to make everything okay. Whether or not it's like, if I get into this university and I get this degree, then my life will be set. Or if I, or the government will save me. Or Botox will save me. If I go to the spa often enough, my life will be perfect. Oh, if you eat the perfect, yeah, all of those things. Yeah. Yep. All of those things are projections outside of ourselves that we look to for our own worth. And then one day, oh, Mary, is there someone? Patty. Okay. Patty, hang on just a second, because I had a thought, and then we'll go. One day someone walks through a door. It could be the door to the Center for Spiritual Living. And then the blinders are removed, and they realize that what they have been giving all of their power to all along, this idea of the great and powerful Oz, was all an illusion. Patty.
Thank you. So yeah, when I was in my 30s, I was in recovery and I went to make amends to my dad. And my dad was kind of the everything to me, but I could never get from him. You know, I was trying to get what I know now spiritually fed by him. It's going to the wrong place. And when I made my amends to him, I will never forget this. He looked at me and he just said, well, don't expect me to change. And in that it was perfect. In that moment, I released him from the pedestal. And I actually felt compassion for him. And I no longer expected or needed from him things that, you know, probably should have gotten along the way, but, you know, in my 30s was no longer an appropriate source and never really the right source anyway. So he just handed me this huge gift by being closed off. It was great.
Oh, that is a perfect man behind the curtain moment. You know, and recognizing that you're the one who put him there, you know, that you're the one who put him on the pedestal and made him into an image of the great and powerful. That was perfect. Thank you, Patty. Okay, I know I got 5 minutes. Do I have 5 minutes, Penny? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, this one. So remember, Ding Dong, the witch is dead. Okay, and Dorothy extinguished the witch by throwing a bucket of water on her. So when did we throw water on an illusion that was keeping us in fear? Has anybody had an experience of?
In my 20s and 30s, I had a consciousness of real lack. And the water throwing was that God's my source, not credit cards, you know, not, I don't know. My mom she was a single mother, and I always had everything I needed, but I grew up in Palo Alto, so there were really wealthy kids, and you could really see the homes and the pearls and all that stuff. But, well, they wore pearls to high school. I'm like, good God, and cash, you know, and I'm just like, But anyway, good for them. But I don't know why I had a real feeling of lack, because I never lacked really for anything. But I just saw my mom work so hard, you know, 40 hours a week and poor health. And I don't know, it was just weird. So I went through a real bad phase of credit card debt. And my husband now, he got me out of debt twice, and he said, I will never do this again. And I was like, okay, so I threw all the credit cards away. But, you know, God's my source. And it feels so good to know that, that
Yeah.
no outside, is going to give me what I need. So,
Thank you, Penny. That is a good one. Um, okay, Colleen.
Hi.
Hi.
Haha. I was I'm hi there. Sitting out here on the bumper of the truck. I was just remembering this random memory, but literally 50 years ago. Um, I don't remember the context, but I think I was my spiritual conditioning was that you pray for anything with faith and you have it. Uh, and particularly around healing. And I thought, I'm getting tired of wearing glasses. And then my eyesight was a lot worse than it is now. I've since had LASIK surgery, maybe 20 something years ago. But at that time, I thought, there's no reason for me to be wearing glasses. All I have to do is just trust in this and do this and pray, and I'm healed. And that'll just make it happen. So I fasted and prayed and thanked God for healing my eyes. And I fully expected that I would wake up one day and just see perfectly clear. And that's what it's all about. And it didn't happen. And I was quite upset about that because I was not only believing this, I was teaching this. And my eyes did not get better. And I just very cheerfully just prostrated myself before God, whom I saw as kind of separate at that point. I'm like, why? Why didn't you heal my eyes? I mean, it says you will and you should. And, you know, am I not good enough to be healed? What's the deal? And God did not say in that moment, how may I delight you today? God said, basically, your physical eyesight is the least of your worries. Like you need to see in much deeper ways than your physical eyes. And I got it.
Yeah.
But it did take that very humbling experience in my life for that to come through.
No, I love that. Thank you, Colleen.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. And I just want to share one last thing that just I, you know, this experience is an ongoing experience for me. Over and over again, how may I delight you today keeps popping up in all kinds of amazing ways. And this morning, um, when I was clearing my email, I subscribe. Um, I don't do social media, but I'm on Substack, and I have several people that I subscribe to on Substack, and so what they write, their newsletters pop into my email box, so I don't actually have to go anywhere to see what's being written. And Dan Rather is one of the people that I subscribe to on Substack. And today, so is at 5:14 this morning, his post is somewhere over the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. And he writes an article about trouble-free place. Turns out was not blah blah. He kind of oops. And so it just keeps on. It keeps on revealing itself over and over again. Whatever it is that I am open to receiving, even if I don't maybe have a um, maybe what I'm open to receiving is at the subconscious level, and I don't maybe have an awareness of it, but it keeps coming up for me over and over again. And so the lessons that Dorothy learned, she learned through her experiences of obstacles, and also the experiences of her companions that she was traveling the yellow brick road with. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being my companions on the yellow brick road. I have just learned and grown so much by just the connection of being with you all. And I am so grateful. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.